Hello everyone, my name is Elisa Jan and today I'm joined by Rimsha. Okay.
Hello, Alize. My name is Rimsha.
And Salman.
Hello, everyone. It's nighttime for me, but I hope it's I don't know, a good morning for you, I guess.
And today we are discussing a very important topic. Kids these days have different interests. Some like maths and some like English, while others are enthusiastic about sports. Most kids needs to stay indoor. And so we're discussing how can we put um, children's preferences and interests in one place and create a standard curricula for them. And this will be my first question. What is standard education and what are the advantages and disadvantages of standard curriculum?
Mm, well, I am not so sure. From what thing do you feel we should start? Mm, I think when it comes to standard education, it is extremely difficult to not think of it as the many people will receive the same exam and probably in the same grade system, and like I think many people say it's fairly easy to make up like an standardized educational system. However, I just don't think it's a little bit restrictive.
Yeah, so what would you say are the advantages of standard education?
Well, for my part, I think one of the main advantages, and this is already studied too, is that it's very easy to implement. Many people can have their education with a very much expected pace and at a large scale. It can meet the expectations of a community of educators, and since it's implemented in a larger scale, there is not so much nuance required in order to put it into
Yeah.
practice. But yeah, that also goes with some drawbacks.
All right. So, Rimsha, I would like to ask, what do you think are the disadvantages of standard education?
Okay, as Salman tell us about the grades, he used the word grades. So I think in our society, our parents or the society restrict our child's the students to run for grades only. They are not restrict our child's to uh, focus on the skills. I think this is the bad disadvantage of this kid, that they are not focused on the skills. They are just run for the grades and make a competition with their fellows to just get the grades.
So, you think that creates stress?
Yes, the students have a great stress and it causes suicide too.
So, that is a disadvantage of standard
Yes,
education.
yes.
All right. I would like to move on to my next question. How does standard curriculum make education better for children?
Okay, so I think everything means our system means our education system is perfect. Nowadays, it's a perfect because of technology. I think it's perfect, but we have to. We don't put a burden on students because they are in depression. They feel stress to study. I think they entertain means they should have to be relaxed. Okay, they always like study, study, study. Don't be like that. They should have to um, mm, pick up some hobbies too, but they are just run up for the grades only. They are just run for the grades, and uh, they're not focused on their life. Their life is just a study. So I think everything is perfect in means education system is perfect, but just uh, don't restrict our childs to study.
Alright. So, Salomon, how do you think a standardized curriculum affect children's studies? Does it make education better in some ways, or does it stay the same?
Well, I personally have encountered feelings when it comes to standardized education, especially when it comes to curriculum, you know. And there have been many studies pointing out the highest stress levels of children and teenagers in their high school when it comes to like grades and the attainment of those. And if you keep up that practice, like you have problems when it comes to the conception of why you go to college. In the Harvard Gazette, which is, well, you know, published by Harvard, they have been pointing out this clearly. College is not for training for a job. It's meant to learn, right? So standardized education only keeps this mentality over and over again that in this system, like you have to apply, get grades. Probably good grades will help you out, obviously. Um, but it's also like in its systematic approach, it also doesn't help people who want to actually learn. I mean, like not only students who are very smart at things and get the material disengaged because they are, well, mostly bored, but also students who are struggling to keep on with the things disengage with it. And I mean that happened with me specifically on the on maths. So yeah, I can relate to those experiences.
Oh. So, there have been many debates about if standard education is better or personal education. And people like to talk about if a standard curricular is better than normal curricular. Does it really make the education of children better? Now, I would like to ask, do you think a standard curriculum was always there? Is it really the best curricular out there? Do you think students really have a choice when it comes to standard curricular or personal curricular? Which one does seem to be more better for their careers?
I think both have their own value. Means it depends on the system. Means it depends on the condition. Means what student want to do. I think both have its own value.
Right, so you think standard curricula has always been there?
Can you please repeat?
I was just asking, do you think a standard curriculum has always been there? Do students really have a choice when it comes to standard curriculum?
I think there is a time. Okay, means if I'm talking about my country system, education system. So here means at matric level, students have to study compulsory subjects. There are some subjects that student have to study. Okay, and then they can choose the subjects after the matric or after the OA level. OA level. Okay, so I think this is a good means a good system. Uh, so yes,
Alright,
both have their own.
Solomon, what do you think?
Well, I am not so antagonistic towards standard education as you people have noticed at the beginning, but I really feel that the drawbacks are like very much detrimental in the long term. I guess one of the most important things that we have to keep in mind, and this is something that Rimsha said, which I strongly agree, is that both are good in their own ways, but it depends, right? Like we do not want to stress children out, but we also don't. If a country doesn't have enough capacity, or probably, or well, probably not. I mean, like obviously, as enough logistics, this capacity to make the standard curriculum more fitable to kids can be extremely difficult. So it really depends on the ways countries can do it more than like the badness or the goodness of standard curriculum. Because one of the things that we have to keep in mind is always the context from which education is being given. If bad education is being given in standardized way, we will always obviously have worse issues that cannot be solved if we just specialize everything. Like, I think a standardized curriculum is just this stepstone towards a better education, and if we keep it for too long, it can be very bad.
I think don't make means make sure that don't be makes difficulties for the students, because I think
Yes,
standard
you're right.
curriculum makes the difficulties for the students. It means a cause of stress and depression that causes suicide. Education is for the career, for the future of students, okay, to polish them, okay, but because of stress, because of restriction, there there is a no career, no future, no skills, only grades, 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 and I think that causes suicide. Means students not focus on the skills.
So if a student wants to apply for good jobs in their future career, they have to go for standard curriculum because most people require degrees from a standard education. So don't you guys think that when it comes to a future career plan, there is no choice for students than to go for standard curriculum?
I mean, yes. I guess that is just part of how many how much educational systems worldwide structure themselves. I think society is a little bit far from making a specialized education a thing. I mean, even IGCSEs have like reports on the students having stress and all of that. S- It's a current challenge.
And we're all done here. Thank you for joining.
Sure, Alisa. Thank you so much for having me here.
Yeah, thank you so much, Elise, for your time.